Okay, good afternoon, Stephen here. It's lovely to see you all. Now, you need to be on your best behaviour today, not just because it's me that's taking the assembly, but because we're getting videoed here. Well, I'm getting videoed, you're not. It's me that's being videoed. And we're going to put this out onto the school website so your parents can get to see and hear what I've been saying to you today. Okay? There's a message that needs to go out to the whole school community. So that's every year group, it's all members of staff and the parents and the partners of the school, so that we're all clear about what we're all about. I am delighted to be able to see you all, I think for the first time for ages, this afternoon. And it's going to be a full period, so it might be a wee bit tiring for you. I'm not going to be a comic stand-up act this afternoon. I've got some serious things that I need to say, and I've got some good things, I think, that you'll want to hear as well. But we are here because we are a great school. Cumbernauld Academy is an excellent school. But I've had a look at the attainment and I've had a look at the attendance. And the two of those things are very closely linked, and we can make improvements in both of them. And today I'm going to give you some idea of some of the changes that are coming down the track after the October week. So next week is a holiday week. We're all delighted about that. And then when we come back, there'll be a few changes that hopefully will help Cumbernauld Academy move from that being an excellent school to being an outstanding one, a truly great school. We're only as good as the young people we've got, and you are the finest young people anywhere, no doubt about that. So, where do we begin when we're talking about changes in the school? Now, you look at that graphic. I know how old that is now because I checked it out. It's 8 years old, 8.5 years old, nearly 9 years old in fact. And I designed that just before the school came into being. Because prior to that it was two schools. And that was about building a school community. Now I know there'll be people in here that are running a book on how many times Mr. Kieran's going to say that word community. What is that all about? It's just boring words. Well, hopefully it isn't boring words. Hopefully you will understand after today some of the things that we need to do, the actions that we need to take to make the school an even better place. So right at the heart of that graphic are the four values of the school. Justice. So here's my question. Is this a fair school? Are you treated fairly? Do you treat other people fairly? I hope the answer to that question is yes.
It is.
And if it's not, then we need to find ways to make it a fairer school, to make it a more just school. We have a pupil parliament which is meeting this session for the first time tomorrow. I'm really excited about that. And the parliament's based on the values of the school. Compassion. I think this is a school where we can be truly proud of the way that we care for each other, the way we look out for the most vulnerable, the way that we give people chances. This is a compassionate place. We need to keep it so. Integrity, what does that really mean? Are we a school where people trust each other? I trust every one of you. Every one of you. That trust needs to be there between staff, amongst young people. Yeah, people make mistakes, they fall out, but as long as we're honest with each other and we can trust each other, we can move forward. If you look at that quote there, it says, where there is not community, trust, respect and ethical behaviours are difficult for the young to learn and for the old to maintain. So I'm the old person trying to maintain that through trust in our school community. You're the young people who are learning about all of that. This is an exciting place for me to come to my work because I know that you're going to deliver on that. And then finally, wisdom. Well, you wouldn't imagine that there would be any decent school around where there wasn't wisdom at play. And I don't mean the wisdom of old people like me, or even younger people like Mr. Mr. Henry, Mr. Hodgman, even Miss Hart is younger than me, significantly. I mean your wisdom, the collective wisdom of the young people in Cumbernauld Academy. Tomorrow I'm going to be listening to a whole load of ideas from the Pupil Parliament, and I'm really excited about that. So this is what our school is about. But this is not words. That white bit in the middle says Cumbernauld Academy Community. That's the actions. That's the things that we do day to day about helping other people, being compassionate towards other people, about making sure that the place is a fair place. All of those things. What do we do that makes our school building the best community that it can be? So when we were thinking about what do we need to do in terms of new procedures, which we're going to go on to talk about, this is what I was thinking about at the very beginning. The things that are important, that never change. Those values for this school will be here long after I leave the school. Those are the values that are on the mace in the Scottish Parliament. I'm sure you know that. So, what can you expect? So you're a young person in Cumbernauld Academy. What can you expect here? Well, look at that graphic and that'll tell you some of the things that you can expect. You can expect to be treated with respect by every adult that works for you. I work for you. I'm only here as the head teacher because you're here. The teachers, the ASNAs, the catering staff, the janitors, everyone in the school is here because you're here. And you can expect to be treated with respect. So when you turn up at a classroom, you'll be welcomed into that classroom. You will know what it is you're going to be learning because the teachers will make that really clear through the learning intentions and the success criteria. The teachers will also take registers at the start of the list. Why did they do that? I'll tell you why. Because my first duty is to keep you safe. Your parents send you to Cumbernauld Academy on the understanding that I will keep you safe in order for you to be able to learn. If you're not in the classroom, then it's not a safe thing. I don't know where you are. Your parents wouldn't be happy about that. So it's a legal requirement that the register's taken right at the beginning of the lesson. And then your teachers will look after you really well, reinforce everything that you need to be doing to make a success of your time in class. So I think that's a pretty good deal. That's what you're getting. I'm promising you that that's what you'll get from the staff here. But in return for that, what's expected of you? This is what I'm expecting of you. That your mobile phone will be in your bag, that with the school uniform that you've got on, with nothing in addition to that, so no non-school uniform items. You'll have brought all the equipment that you need, and if you don't have the equipment, we'll get you the equipment. Nobody's going to go without in terms of uniform or equipment. We'll make sure that anything that you need for learning is available to you. You know that you can drink the water in class. It's good for you, it's good for your health. We would encourage that, but not near computers, because that's dangerous. So if there's a rule that's in place in school about something you're not allowed to do, it's either because it's wrong, it's immoral, or it's dangerous. We don't just make up rules for the sake of them. We want you to be happy, we want you to be safe, we want the place to be organised. There's 1,050 people in this school now. It's a big school, so we need to have rules around to ensure that people are safe. And as you are doing very well just now, I need you to continue to listen to the teacher in terms of the instructions that are given out. I don't think there's anyone in here that's going to have a problem with that. I think you'll all be absolutely fine with it. That's because this is the best school anywhere. We're a brilliant school. You are a brilliant year group. You're going to produce outstanding exam results and go on to do amazing things in life. I'm absolutely certain about that. So, something that we haven't been able to do very well up until this year because of the pandemic is provide rewards through the positive reward scheme. Because it was really difficult to get people together. Well, we can do that now. So, I've had a look at the figures, and it looks to me that there are not very many people off track in second year. There are some, but there are not many. And a significant majority of young people in your year group are on track. So what we are going to do is on Friday, periods 3 and 4, we're going to have a reward event in the school. There are so many people in 1st to 3rd year on track that I can't offer that reward event to everyone in 1st to 3rd year. What I will say is that everyone in 1st to 3rd year who is on track just now will get a reward given to them the first time they're in Skills for Life when they come back after the October week. I don't know, when do you get Skills for Life? Thursday. So on the Thursday after the October week, if you're on track, you will be given a reward. Everyone will get a reward, everyone that's been on track. In addition to that, the top 10 in every class, S1 to S3, will come to a reward event on Friday, periods 3 and 4. So they'll be given something in here, and there'll also be a movie shown as well, periods 3 and 4. And you will find out on Thursday from your pupil support teacher who's on track, but also who are the top 10 people in terms of merits within the positive reward system. So it will be around 80 people from second year in here, along with similar in first year and the similar number in third year. We've got 235 people in total. So if you don't make the top 10, that's disappointing for you, I understand that, but there will be a reward for you that's coming the next time you are in Skills for Life after the October week. Okay? You've embraced it well. I think we need to look at what the next reward event's going to be, because they'll get bigger over the session. So this time it's an in-house thing. At Easter time it might be a trip out somewhere, and then in the summertime it'll be a bigger trip somewhere else. And there'll be options in that for you, and we'll consult with you on that. Okay, so we're back up and running with the positive rewards in Cumbernauld Academy. That's the good side, but as we all know, sometimes things don't go to plan. Sometimes I have a poor day before I come to school. Sometimes your teachers will have had difficult things to encounter. Sometimes I am well aware you may not have slept well, whatever. Things just don't go well and you're not in a great mood. And that means that it doesn't go perfectly for you in class. So what we've done as a staff is we've looked at how we would deal with incidents so that it's fair. Back to that graphic again, that bit about justice. So that we deal with things fairly. Because everyone in a class has the right to high quality learning. But if someone's behaviour isn't appropriate, then that can affect the environment for learning. So what we've done is we've created this flowchart that every single member of staff will apply. Now I'm not asking you to look at that, it will be in all the classrooms. But a summary of that would be, if you get something wrong, the teacher will speak to you about it, you'll get a warning about it, and then that should be enough. 99 times out of 100, it should finish there. If that doesn't work, and your behaviour continues to be disruptive or inappropriate, then the faculty head will look at trying to resolve that for you, so that it's resolved in the department. And there are a range of strategies that the faculty head has available. So they could make a phone call home, they could speak to the pupil support teacher, you could be on a detention potentially at lunchtime or break time, there could be a monitoring card, they've got a variety of things that will help you get back on track. If If that's not working and it has to come to the SMT or to me, that's a really bad thing. So what I'm saying to you is, this is the system that we're applying across the whole school. So it doesn't matter who your teacher is, what department you're in, everybody will be treated fairly in the same way. And my advice to you is to work on those really good relationships with your teachers who really care about you. They're the same people that give up their time on a Friday afternoon to run clubs and they run football teams and they get involved with the pupil parliament and they're involved with the prom. They do that because they love you and they care about you. But they also have to make sure in a school this size that there's excellent behaviour in all the classes. And almost everyone behaves very well all of the time. So this will be good for you if you're one of those people, because it's going to further improve the behaviour of the people who struggle from time to time. So that's about justice and equality and fairness across the school. It's also about providing that very best learning environment so that you can be successful. Fundamentally, all of this is about giving you stuff that will be valuable to you in terms of developing skills and gaining qualifications. That's what this is about. And now we come on to mobile phones. Oh, right. You have grown up in a world where mobile phones have just been available for the whole of your life. I grew up in a world before mobile phones, but you're not surprised about that. And I think mobile phones are brilliant things. Brilliant for communication, brilliant for social media, brilliant for finding out stuff, brilliant for entertainment. So good in so many ways. But mobile phones are also a distraction sometimes. And when we're in school, you're not available to anyone else. Your job is to be available for learning in the classroom. So what I'm saying to you is that there'll be no mobile phones taken out in class. But you kind of know that anyway. But it still happens, doesn't it? I'll take some questions at the end, okay, not just now. If your parents need to get a hold of you, or maybe should be speaking to the camera here, if you need to get hold of your child in school, can you please contact the school office and we will make sure that you can gain contact to your child. It's as simple as that. If there's an emergency, we'll make sure we'll look after you and we're able to deal with that emergency. Your mobile phone is not to be switched on when you're in the classroom. Unless the teacher says to you, take your mobile phones out, we're going to use this for some purpose around learning and teaching, about finding out some piece of information or doing a bit of research. So unless directed by the teacher, your mobile phones should not be out in classroom. We're saying that they should be in your school bags. Now, I know, and you know, that things don't always work out perfectly. And sometimes you might be distracted and you take your phone out to look at the time or whatever. The teacher notices that, they'll say to you, that's your warning, put your phone away. And that'll be the end of it, low key. We can all handle that, everybody makes mistakes. I remember once taking an assembly in another school, and I was talking about mobile phones and saying, you need to make sure they're switched off. And do you know what happened? My mobile phone went off in the middle of it. So it can happen, right? Mistakes happen, get that. If, however, you take your phone out for a second time, you'll be asked to hand the phone to the class teacher who will give it to the faculty head, and it will then be taken to a secure box. We'll lock it in a secure box and you'll get it back at the end of the day. A member of the SMT will be there to give it back to you at the end of the day. You're not going to get it at break time, you're not going to get it at lunchtime, you'll get it at the end of the day. It's quite a big sanction, that. It's quite a big thing to lose your phone for the rest of the school day, but you will get it back. If the parents need, if you need to contact your parents, we'll make sure that you can. Either through a phone in the school office, or if you need it to get a number from your own phone, you'll get supervised access to your phone in an emergency situation. We're not going to deny you access to that, but you will be expected to hand your phone in and you'll get it at the end of the school day. Some schools have taken the view that phones shouldn't be allowed in school at all. So they ban young people from bringing them to school, they're banning the corridors and social spaces. I'm not doing that. I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think you need your phones for socialisation at break times and lunch times. I get all of that. Some of you have got your timetables on your phone so that you can remember what you've got. So I'm fine with you having your phones, just not in the classroom. So it's dead straightforward. Don't take them out of the class, there'll not be a problem. If you make that mistake, we'll keep your phone safe, you'll get it back at the end of the day. And that's it, dead simple. Any questions on that? Okay, no questions. Good. Yes, we have a question.
Greg, when you say, when you see the real where it says teachers may have taken the information for a decision Tuesday night before school, enhance it, and what about like the end of the class? And the teacher said,
if the teacher says you can use the phone, you can use the phone. As long as the teacher says you can use it. Yeah.
Up the topic says difficulty with headphones.
You need to speak up.
So it says include headphones and earbuds.
Yeah.
What if someone uses them for like a reason, for like sensory issues?
That's a brilliant question. Right, so if you have got headphones that you're using as ear defenders, you will be allowed to use them. That won't change. That's a great question. That's something that I should have remembered. Well done. Yeah.
What if you like had, like for example, your mum just texted you about something, but the thing is she never contacted the school yet. Oh yeah, and you need to read that text. Like what do you do in that situation?
If your mum sends you a text.
Yeah.
So what I would say, if your mum's watching online just now, is maybe phone the school office with that message and we'll get that message to you.
Okay.
Okay? Good questions. Yeah?
So are you looking for this one like the pocket or something?
Okay, so if the phone doesn't come out, right, at all in the class, that's what's important to me. So our advice is to put it in your bag, but as long as the phone doesn't come out in class, there won't be a problem. Okay? Yeah.
What is it about the movie on for the book read on Friday? Is that this Friday or the one after your meeting?
That's this Friday. Okay, period 3 and 4 this Friday, is there a word of it? But you'll know tomorrow if you're going to that. Okay, I've got a few more things to get through, so I'm going to move on if that's all right. Some really good questions there about the mobile phones. Okay, I think across Scotland, since the pandemic, something has happened to young people in secondary schools, because there are more of them wandering around the corridors than I have ever seen before. And maybe not too many faces in here, but certainly more young people than I've seen for a long time wandering around. And when I talk to my friends who are head teachers in other schools, they tell me the same thing. So, we know the right place for people to be learning almost all of the time is in the classroom. Every now and again your teacher will do an outdoor lesson, outdoor learning. It might be that you go for a walk sometimes. You get all of that. That's important. But by and large, you're with your teacher in the classroom setting for learning. Now, a number of times I see young people, I ask them, why are you out of class, where are you going? And they'll tell me, I'm away to see Gregor, I'm going to see Jacqueline, I'm going to pupil support, I'm going to a music lesson. A whole variety of valid reasons for people to be out of class. But then there are other people who don't have valid reasons for being out of class. And they've been out to the toilet and they're still out 15 minutes later. So we're going to make sure that we know that if someone's out of class, they've got a legitimate reason. So that slip that you see on the slide there will be given out to anyone, and it'll be in an orange colour, so it'll be dead bright, it'll be dead easy for you when you're asked if you got your slip to say, yep, got it there, Mr. Cairns, and on that it'll tell me who you're out, when you left class, and who you're out to go and see, and that'll be given to you when you leave the class. Equally, if you arrive late, for security reasons, the front door's now going to be closed at 9 o'clock. When you arrive late, then when you come in, you'll be given one of these slips to take up to your class, and your class teacher will know that that's you signed in and everything's safe. But it would take you 10 minutes to get from the reception to your classroom. That's the point of the slip. So if you're out of class for any reason at all, you'll be given one of these slips. And then you'll hand that to your class teacher when you go back to class, and they'll file that out. Now, I'm not going to ask this question because you all know the answer to it. But if I were to count up the reasons, what's the most common reason for people being out of class? It's not going to be about going to see Mr. Cairns, or going to see Gregor, or going to see Miss Hart. It's going to be, I'm going to the toilet, isn't it? Right. See, going to the toilet's fine. That's a human right. Nobody's going to deny you that. It's really important that you've got access to the toilet. But ludicrous to suggest anything else. But you've all been in classes where you've seen lots of people asking to get out to the toilet on a regular basis. So we need to try and cut that down if we can, and say that if you go to the toilet before school, or at break time, or at lunchtime, or even between periods in the afternoon, because afternoons are long, that's the right way to kind of try and approach that. But I accept there'll be times when people are desperate and need to go, and certainly if you've got a medical condition, you go wherever you need to go. There'll not be a problem with any of that whatsoever. Nobody will be denied access to the toilet, but what I'm going to do, just so that you know, is the teachers are going to record on the register if you ask to go out to the toilet, which is fine, not got a problem with that. If you've asked to go out a couple of times in the last 3 weeks, fine. But if you've asked to get out 47 times in the last week, that's a problem. And I think probably I'll need to contact your parents and say, get them to the doctor. We can go 47 times in a week. And that doesn't apply, let me be very clear, to any young person who's got a medical condition that they know about. So if you need to go to the toilet, you will be allowed, you'll be given one of those slips. The time will be on it when you left the class, and the teacher will put the time on it when you come back to class. But we'll also be looking at the number of times in the classes that people are asking to get out of, just so that we can get it back to a normal level. Because the level's too high just now. The level's too high in all schools. But I don't want to be draconian. I don't want. You'll also be directed to the toilet that's closest, the pupil toilet that's closest to the class that you're in. So if you're away up in computing, let me send you all the way down to the toilets here. And let's be honest about this, eh? We know there are people that have been vaping in the toilet. We know there are people that have been using their mobile phones to organise to meet up with their mates in the toilet. I get it. I understand that. But I'm not approving of it. I'm not saying it's okay. We need to stop this, because being in class is where you learn, and when you're learning well, you're going to gain those skills and qualifications to help you be successful. Let's go back to that graphic again at the start. This is all about making you successful, young people. So that's why we're doing this with the mobile phones, and also with the being out of class stuff. So it's hopefully going to tighten all of that up. Any questions about those slips? Yes?
On the slip that says return to class, what if the music lesson at the last week of class?
Your music instructor can sign that for you. Okay, that's a good question though. I hadn't thought about that one. Excellent. You've already asked a question, see if there's any other questions. Is that all clear? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, you can ask me later on when you forget, when you remember, okay? See me at the end of the day before you get into your taxi. Okay. Where are we now? Right, unfortunately, we are, like all other North Lanarkshire schools, going to lose our librarian at Christmas time. So there won't be a librarian in the school after Christmas. So that means that we need to think as a school about what we want to do with that space, because it's a cracking space. And there's lots of books in there that we still need to make sure you can access. So I'm probably thinking of distributing the books around the school, across the departments, and then say, well, how do we make the best use of that space? And in order to be able to do that, I'm going to consult with all the young people in the school and with the staff, so that we're ready for making the most effective use of that space in January. The library just now is not available at lunchtime or break times when the librarian's not here. It's something that it'll be a big loss to this school, because Mrs. Kilbride has done some fantastic work in that library, running groups at break times and lunch times for many years. But we need to wait and see what we can do. I think if we go back to that graphic again, if we're creative, then we'll come up with something that's really good for you guys in terms of that space. Lockers, I don't know how many of you have lockers just now, but we're going to make more lockers available as soon as I've got office staff. So there'll be 5 people appointed to the school office in the next few weeks. There's an office manager that's just been appointed, and we'll start after the October break. And as soon as we have them in place, we can then put the system in place. So the system is £5, a deposit of £5 to secure a key, and that's just in case we need a replacement key. When you hand the key back at the end, then you will get you'll get your £5 back. But I need enough staff in the office to be able to administer that. As soon as that happens, we'll get some more lockers to you, and that should be just about in time for the cold weather coming in, so you can put your jackets and stuff in there. Okay, I don't know that I'm going to have time to take any more questions just now. If I've got time at the very end of the assembly, I'll ask for questions at that point, okay? But we're getting quite tight for time. Up until yesterday, there hadn't been any real instance of people leaving rubbish, significant rubbish in the dining hall. I'm delighted about that. That's a massive improvement from where we've been before. So a big congratulations to all of you for respecting your environment, respecting the school. Let's hope that we can keep that going. There was a bit of a blip yesterday and a bit of a blip in the library today, actually at lunchtime. But other than that, it's been great. So keep that going. This is not really for you, but you can have a wee bit of a laugh if you like. This is more for the teachers that are still here. So 99 school days. We're now into double figures, Mr. Hodgman only. Double figures, Mr. Phillips. Mr. O'Neill. It's a wee bit worrying if you're a senior, isn't it? But there we are. You don't need to worry about that. But the foundation for the senior phase is laid in the broad general education. So I'll talk to you a wee bit about how we're going to support you with that in a couple of minutes. Right. I'm not doing it today, but over the next few weeks, after the October break, we're going to make sure you've all got the proper school uniform. So if you've not got your tie or your blazer on today, and you've lost your tie, you've lost your blazer, speak to your pupil support teacher. We've got stuff, we can give it to you. It's really important that you're wearing the school uniform. That's an outward symbol of those values that I was talking about at the very beginning. You are Cumbernauld Academy students. You should look like Cumbernauld Academy students with the full school uniform. There's no reason not to wear it. And if you've not got it, we'll provide it for you. Dead straightforward. Any questions about the uniforms? Anything that anybody doesn't understand about what the school uniform is? If it's black footwear, it's black footwear. I'm okay with it. Right? I'm not worried about that yet.
Does it have to be shorts or?
Black t-shirt and shorts, 3/4 length leggings. So, just check it with Mr. McDade if you're unsure. Guys, yeah, you can wear a jumper too, that's alright, yeah. Yeah, absolutely fine to wear a jumper. Is that not in there? That's a good question then. Well done for pointing that out. Yes. Is this for PE? Just speak to the PE department about that. They'll keep you right, okay? Okay. There's the unacceptable uniform. I don't want to dwell on that. Attendance. I can almost feel like I'm speaking to the people that are here. Why am I speaking to you about attendance? Maybe I should be running a Teams call for all the people that are off today, and that they should be telling me from their houses why they're not able to come to school. There's a big link, strong link between attendance and attainment. If you're here all the time, you will almost certainly fulfil your potential. If you're off those percentage of times, 90%, that sounds good, doesn't it? If you're 90% of the test, you think, I've done well there. But that's half a day missed every week. 4 whole weeks of school in that year. It equals half a school year over 5 years of secondary school. That's massive, isn't it? A massive number of hours of learning and teaching. It's really important that if you can, you get yourself into school. And obviously that's part of the positive reward scheme as well. We are introducing, just stay where you are for a second, I'm just about there. We are introducing a tracking system to look at how well, for every young person, how well you're progressing in each curricular area. So you'll be having learner conversations with your class teachers that will help you take the steps that you need to take to progress with your learning. And that will go into a spreadsheet, and then you'll be able to intervene through mentoring, through interviews with pupil support, lots of different things that we can do. So that stuff's going to be available to us and will help to inform conversations that we have with you over the course of the year. So here we are. Right. You've been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You have demonstrated through your actions how respectful you can be. You have shown me a great deal of respect, and I'm very grateful to you for that. It's hard to sit for 50 minutes being talked at by the head teacher, but you've managed to get through it. Have a great October week and enjoy the reward event.